Hey everybody, we are live here on Popcorn Planet. I'm here with Louis Lecca, my buddy over at Nerd Report, and this is we are just getting prepared because the Wyoming Coroner is about to come forward and give us a report on Gabby Petito. We are expecting cause of death. There's a lot of speculation here as to what we're going to see today, about who's in charge of this press conference, etc. But they say they will be addressing the cause and manner of death. Now, this is very surprising for a lot of folks because we've talked to some detectives and experts here who have been emailing officers, etc. This is not typically what is released by a coroner's office. Usually in an active case like this, you do not want to give this information away. So we are minutes away from finding out what they are going to tell us. We will obviously continue to report after that to see what that means. Does this change the case? But we have been talking with our chat, and most are expecting some big news to drop. However, Louis, this could be nothing for all we know. As soon as this report begins, we will stop talking and we will go straight to it. But I wanted to make sure you guys were alert of what's happening here. Louis, this is a big deal. Obviously, knowing cause and time and weapon, these things will help dictate a lot of sort of motivations and things moving forward to crack this case. I'm feeling nervous and unnerved already. Are you feeling it too?
My heart's heavy right now. It does feel heavy, especially seeing her picture, and someone tweeted out that we will get the cause of death and everything like that right next to her picture. And she's all full, she was full of life, beautiful smile and stuff like that. And, we're going to know it's going to be difficult. We're going to find out what kind of personality the person who murdered her has. Is he aggressive? Is it poisoning? We're going to learn a lot today. I think I will be surprised if this is a nothing burger. I think it's going to be big and stuff, but let's, whatever we hear today, let's move forward and be a force for positivity and do what her parents asked for, is to keep the word out for other missing people and other people who are being wronged, no matter what your background is or what. The father emphasized that.
Yep.
He said he's going to turn it at us, hold us accountable. We are part of the press and stuff, believe it or not, even though we're more with the people, and it's our duty to start directing the news at other people and everyone, no matter what their background is. So let's redirect the energy and make it positive. And we're gonna watch this and listen to it together. And
it is now 2:30, so at any point now I'm going to refresh to make sure we're not missing anything. We are waiting for there's a Zoom. It's a Zoom call. It looks like we're live. Audio is up. As soon as Dr. Brent Blue joins the media, we will go straight to it, guys, and we will shut up. And then we'll come back. We will also have a detective, John Hubbard, will be coming back on the show afterwards to give us his insight on what this means. But unclear if this will be just a quick reveal and then a walkout, if there's going to be questions answered. Again, the motivations as to why this coroner is giving this is bringing up a lot of questions online. But here we go.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Recording in progress.
Join their audio. Hopefully they get their audio connected. Fixing their lighting. We can't hear them. The audio is up. Uh-oh. Hopefully that's just on their end.
They're fixing it because
he's not talking, guys. Bear with us. We know you can't hear him because we can't hear him either. Hopefully they hit join audio. Coroner, Teton County. No audio. Okay, good. We're not alone. Someone has reported that there's no audio.
Hello, thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming Coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
That's so awkward.
It's because it's on delay. Getting the old comments.
The
Should I start over then?
cause is strangulation.
So messed up.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming Coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by law enforcement folks than than our office.
What? Thanks, Kristen, for walking in late. I did not hear a word he said. Did you guys hear it?
Miss Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopis, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
So why are you taking questions?
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Is there another question?
Brian Enton. I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay.
Come on, Brian. We're waiting for your question.
Steve Fabian.
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact. Are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Three to 4 weeks. Does that add up, chat?
Chris Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there.
Question. Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we are not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
He's not going to offer any more information.
No, definitely not. Chat, 3 to 4.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI because we're not allowed to release that information.
We're just going to keep the questions going until they're done and we'll talk. I just want to hear it all.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn? We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
KSL assignment, you are unmuted. KSL assignment.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not, was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with law enforcement or the FBI.
Matthew Sella. Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from dailymail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Coroner, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Finally. Thank God he just put that to bed. Why is he allowed to reveal that, though? That just makes no sense.
Yeah, that was
Thomas Tope.
Hi, doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis as you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
Jeremy Kopis.
Yes, doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
Nothing is obvious in a situation like this. So a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon? You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our board in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walke.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Francis DeFiore.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DeFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Why don't we take one more question then?
We have the snack squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
No, I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
All right. Well, that was incredibly unprofessional. That was just weird for me personally. I don't know about you, Lewis. It was just a very weird, unprofessional way to go about something so serious. I don't know, the Zoom thing, everyone chiming in and out, the dings, there is him laughing. The whole thing gave me very weird vibes. But the main information that we just got, guys, which is news, cause of death was homicide by strangulation. They also did reveal she's now pregnant, which I'm so glad we get to put that to bed, because I hated that rumor out there. It was none of our business in the first place. But now, no more gross speculation about ultrasound photos and nonsense. But also that they discovered the body, or the time of death was 3 to 4 weeks after discovering the body. Now, I've been focused on the timeline with the mods and you guys in the chat, and thanks to everybody who's paying attention and watching, because that time does check out to the period that we all suspected, which would be at around August 27th, when we discovered the van, etc. So now it's a very wide range there, Lewis. So if it was any other time, that would be probably bigger news. But it does, his time estimate does fall into there. Yeah, that the time then ranges are right around that same time period. Now it could be after, it could be other, but that was a telling reveal that sort of opens up, confirms a lot of what we already thought. I'm also just disturbed just by the strangulation, Lewis, is just such
bad.
Such
Awful.
a close way to go. By to do that to somebody, especially your fiance, it's just awful to think about, and I don't really want to dwell on it too much. But it offers just a much sicker motivation to him to have to continue to think about what that entails. Pardon me for a moment to just get. I want to say it because I think it's important we keep it real. But the I can't fathom it, Lewis, to do it until you lose someone's breath, and like watching it happen is dark. That is not accidental. You don't accidentally strangle someone, right, Lewis?
No, man, he was probably looking at her as her life left. It's awful.
That is,
and then
dark.
in regards to this was like it was a very unprofessional looking press conference. Here, they should have been more prepared. I personally don't think the doctor was, laughing at the situation. Like I've said it before here, is like nervousness and fear kind of gives you that same kind of grin look and stuff. I don't think he was mocking the situation by no means, but he cannot give more information than what he gave and stuff. The last question was weird too. Is like, was this a murder or whatever? And it's like, he already determined there was a homicide. And then he says, I can't, that's up to the investigation. But per the investigation, they already called it a homicide. So yeah, whoever did it, allegedly, because we have to go allegedly, committed a murder. So I think it was telling 3 weeks. It was crazy. And I want to say, you want to give him props too, because he did mention that this does happen a lot. It's creepy and stuff. And, to both men and women. So it's something to think of moving forward.
So we are gathering. I'm going to get Detective John back on the Zoom in a little bit to give us his perspective on this and get his reaction of why, get some more insight on what this means in his perspective. What was weird also was John Walsh getting in there and asking the same question twice so aggressively. Like, we know it's Brian. He was just aggressively trying to get the coroner to admit it's Brian, which is like, he doesn't know who did it. That's not his job at all. It was very weird to hear Walsh just jump in there all like, yeah, come on, tell us Brian did it.
Well, it's because the reporters, a lot of them have their questions written down, so they're kind of like robotic. And also, he may know more than we think. He may know stuff that he can't reveal, because he's under an NDA or whatever. That's not his job. So keep that in mind. The reason I noticed a lot of people in your comments were saying that they were asking the same question over and over again, and the reason for that is because the outlets don't want to quote other outlets, so they pretty much want to have the good question, and there's only a few good questions out there that could be answered, but they don't want to give credit to the other outlet, Right. So they asked the same question.
They needed some sound bites, and sound bites, being honest about it. Can we see you on camera while you say it? They did mention DV, I missed that part though. Did you hear that part, Lewis?
No, I
saw in the chat, but there were so many people over talking and so hard. That was such a bad way to do a press conference that I was very frustrated. The lawyer just texted, so let's go there. So the lawyer is responding. He's very quick, that lawyer, to respond.
Defendant?
Let's get to the lawyer's response before I'm going to clip this. Here we go. Someone hacked my name on the coroner's chat and asked horrible things. I'm told that wasn't me. Ugh. So for the record, Brian wasn't in there saying horrible things. A Laundrie family attorney, Mr. Bertolino, just texted, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he's located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. F you, man. F this guy. Why are you? You don't even know where your client is, you scumbag. Like, what a scumbag. Like, what? Just there's nothing to say because you don't even know who your client is. So how can you defend him if you don't even know where he is? He's on the run. This reiterating. Well, we don't know if he. Come on, dude. Just don't say anything.
It's a fitting picture there. He has taking a dump right there. So.
Well, that's Brian. I think he's just sitting. But
I know.
This lawyer, Steve Bertolino, is just really upsets me. But sadly, that's what lawyers do.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm bothered by a lot of this. I'm going to get Detective John Hubbard in, but I want to clip this portion of the show. We will make that portion a separate clip. You may watch this while it's processing, but there's so much show here today. You can always catch the full show on the member replays or catch us every day live at 12. So grateful for all of you who are joined us and can catch those. I will clip this portion so you guys can get the press conference shared. Apologies for the quality of that and the Zoom awkwardness. It was such a weird way to get that information, but this is important information now to put out there, and it really, in my opinion, vilifies Brian or whoever did this. This is such a crime of passion, and to know that you were doing that, staring at her, lost her breath. Sickens me. It breaks my heart. I'm disturbed. I'm frustrated. It's only going to fuel, I think, more people to want to find this guy. So you'd think there'd be fingerprints and everything all over the place then to sort of solve this. And I want to get Detective John Hubbard's info in this. So stay tuned. We will clip that and put that portion as well. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining us. There will be some time codes in there, etc., that may be inactive. Hit join. You can always watch the full 3-hour streams anytime as a member. Thanks so much for your support.